friends, it's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and it is Monday, October 25th. Are you all ready for Mystery Card Monday? I've been looking forward to it. Got a little bit extra pieces to cut this time, but I assure you you're going to love the layout. It uses up some of your fancy papers that go with one another. So yeah, let's just jump right in and get started. So what you need is your standard card base. Here we go. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded in the middle. Oops, and if you're using a dark piece like I am here, you can add a piece of white on the inside if you want. That's totally optional. And then you're going to need a piece of pattern paper that is 3 by 5 1/4. Now I don't have everything pre-cut tonight. That's why I'm off the mark chatting away, because I need to do my cutting. So I'm just going to grab some pieces that go with this paper here. So this is the Blackberry Beauty Designer Series paper. It is gorgeous. This is just phenomenal, this paper. And love it, love it. So I'm just trying to find a couple of pieces that are already in my scrap part to put together so that I'm not cutting into a brand new piece. What's this guy? Is this guy gonna work? Yeah, 2 1/4. I need 2.5 by 2. There, that piece is gonna fit. Nice. And then I've got a long piece, and then I just need a strip piece. That's perfect, I think. Well, it's 1 1/4, but you know what? We're close enough at 1 inch. Oh, it's a little bit less than 1 inch. I need something a little bit wider and longer. So yeah, gonna jump in and find my scrap pieces. Well, that would be kind of different. Oh, I can use that side. Perfect. Okay, we're good to go. Got the first round of paper ready. Okay, so to add to your card base, you're going to need, oh hey Vicki, thanks for joining me. You're going to need a piece that is 3 inches by 5 1/4. I love this paper. It is just gorgeous with the gold in it. Pretty nice. And the backs of the pattern papers are more without any flecks of color in them, so you can use them later for other stuff if you don't want them to be too seasonal, like if you get into a different season. So 3 by 5 1/4, and then we need a piece that's 1 1/4 by 4 in a coordinating color. So let's cut him down. 1 1/4 by 4. And a piece which is 2.5 by 2. If you go with non-directional, you're going to be just fine with what you're cutting out. But if you've got directional paper, just be mindful of that as you're putting it together. And then on top of that, you're going to need a circle of some kind. This one is about 2.5 inches. So if you've got a circle punch or you have your layering circle dies, this will work too. So I've got that. And then some kind of focal point. So I'm going to use some dies and some punches for my focal point. So for that, that's going to go on the circle. So it'll be things like, if I was using dragonfly, I would put the dragonfly on there. Something of that sort of shape. An animal or an image, or even some designer series paper that you cut out, but something else. And then just a piece for greeting, and that can be whatever. So what I grabbed was my punches, the double oval punch, and I also grabbed the postage stamp punch, because the stamp sets I'm working with, I'm pretty sure are going to fit on one of these, so I kind of grabbed those as go-tos. Alrighty, let's get started. I feel like I'm really low in my chair. Let's pull it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to layer up that 3 by 5 1/4 just on the left side close to the fold line of my card. So my card's going to be portrait. That's with the 4 1/4 this way and 5 1/2 long. I'm sure depending on the paper you pick, you can switch this around. And for sure, these are your cards, so you make them into whatever you would like. And I can't remember if in the directions I put a layering piece behind the 2 1/2 by 2. You can do that or you can omit it. It's entirely up to you. If you've got a scrap handy, go right ahead. So I think maybe I will do that. So that piece to go up behind the 2 1/2 by 2, it needs to be 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. I probably have a piece really close to that size right here. Isn't that great to have the scrap bin? So cut it just at 2 3/4 and it will be ready to go. Just kind of finishes that one layered piece off a bit. Alright, so I'm going to layer my 2 1/2 by 2 onto that 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. So boom, I've got a piece like that. And this is going to go like that. I'm just making sure the birds are right side up. Hold on. I'm going to put it this way on my card. Okay. I'm going to layer that on. Nothing popped up yet. Everything's going to go straight down. So it's going to sit a little bit on the card, the 3 by 5 1/4 and a little bit off. And then I'm going to stick a piece of coordinating pattern paper that's 4 by 1 1/4. That's going to go vertically. I think now I've picked a color a piece that's really not too contrasting, but that's okay. So this piece is going to go here. Okay. I'll put the other side too. It would look like the leaves are sideways though. I kind of like the up and down look. Okay, I'm just using my Stampin' Seal. You use what you use. And that's just going to go across like that. And then I've got my circle, which is going to cover up a little bit of both, just like that. Okay, I'm not going to pop my circle up, but I am going to pop up my focal point, which I need to do a little stamping and a little bit of die cutting. So I grabbed a stamp set that I think will go nicely with this. Oh, look at that. I already have one stamped and punched out, but you know what? Nice as that would be. No, that's too much. I think I'm going to go with something that just needs to be die cut. So the colors in here are some Blackberry Bliss, and let's see what else. Rich Raspberry, Vanilla, what's it called? Cinnamon Cider. Maybe I'll put a cinnamon cider die cut on there. So I'm using my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I love this little guy to be at my table for the smaller dies. Many of the dies will fit through this. It's just when you're using those really much bigger ones or long words that maybe won't. Well, the words would, because you could turn them the other way. But it does shake the table a wee bit, so I apologize if the camera has a little shaky boot here as I'm putting that through. But it's handy because it's not so heavy to lift. And it does everything to cut or emboss that's just about 3 inches wide. Fits in here. It's very handy. Okay. Get these out of the way. My leftover pieces. And I don't know if I don't use it often enough, but I don't go through a lot of the cutting mats. They seem to really hold up on this. Very happy with that. Okay. So there's my, my circle's down. So then I'm going to pop up my pumpkin that I'm doing. So get this guy to sit up. And then I think I need to add some ribbon or some fancy embellishments to go with it to kind of zhoosh it out a little bit. There we go. So nice to take a moment to do some crafting with you tonight. It was a busy day in the workroom, working from home, and attending a couple of meetings over Zoom, or well, actually WebEx, I should say. So kind of nice to take a little break and be creative for a little while. Just going to realign this guy up, and then I think I grabbed some ribbon. What did I grab? Oh, some gold. Yeah, that would certainly add beauty to this. So this ribbon goes with the Blackberry Beauty paper in the same suite. It's almost taffeta, like the feel to it. It's really lovely for weddings, I think, for sure. And fall with this color here, so I'm trying to do a small bow. It's called Gold Shimmer Ribbon, 3/8 of an inch wide. And yeah, it's lovely. Lovely to tie. Here we go. It's firm and stiff in some ways so that it will stay nicely in place. So you'll need some glue dots to add your ribbon if you're going with that. That's the end of that bolt of ribbon. Here we go. Are you playing along, Vicki, or are you just watching while you have your dinner? Or I know you're going to pop by and see me tomorrow, pick up your kit for tomorrow night's class. I have it ready to go in the chute for pickup. And then I'm going to put a greeting on this. Where's the stamp set that I chose for this one? Pretty Pumpkins. Nope, not going to work with that. It's going to be, needs to be a little bit smaller. So maybe for a greeting I will use this one. It says thank you. A brand new stamp set. This is Arctic Bears. Brand new stamp set to me. Brand new stamp set in the catalog. And has a lovely thank you on it that'll fit perfectly where I would like it to go. So because it's brand new, I need to add the sticker to the back of it and get it ready to go and correct for the first time. With some Blackberry Bliss, I just need to grab a little piece of white scrap. There we go. Block. There we go. And then we'll find one of these. There, that one's nice. There's already enough layering going on here, so I think maybe, do you know what, I think maybe I prefer it in the other color. So I'm going to do another one in Cinnamon Cider. I think there's a lot of the Blackberry Bliss going on here, so let's try a different color. Cinnamon Cider it is. Watching while having dinner. Oh, your first 4 Christmas cards. Nice. Good to get started. And I know your friends love to receive them, friends and family. Okay, add a little bit of dimension to this. Pop her up. Very pretty. Very, very pretty paper. Where am I going to put this? There's a lot going on here. I don't want to overdo it. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of gold going on, so I don't think I really need to add with the dark colors any more jewels or gems or anything. So I'm going to cut my piece of 4 by 5 1/4 to pop on the inside, and it'll be good to go. So listen, if you're out there like Vicki watching, well, let me know. It's always good to know that I've got some folks out there to talk to. And if you're watching on the replay, similarly, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Hope these cards bring you some inspiration. I can tell you that this card is a layout that I am using with my team meeting next week. Yes, it will be next week. Oh my goodness, next week is November already. And so it's a layout I chose for that, and I think it works perfectly for Mystery Card Monday. All right, on to my next card, some red and green for Christmas. So I've got my red card base, and I've got an old olive circle this time, because the paper I'm using has more cinnamon cider and real red and old olive, and I have oodles of little pieces here. This is the 6 by 6 gingerbread and peppermint paper, and I've used all what I consider to be the really fun patterns. Pardon me. And so now I've got like a whole bunch of the geometric ones left in this pack, so I was trying to find a way to use these. I'm going to keep that because I want to use that piece for die cutting out. This piece would be nice. I don't think I've used this pattern yet. Not very much. Ooh, maybe it look nice this way. Can I get 3 inches out of that? How can I get this to be even? Okay, there's a way. Or we can put it like this. Just trying to figure out how to cut it so that I can get even on both sides. So I have to trim, just for the pattern, I have to trim a little bit off each side, and it's mostly even. Okay, overthinking it just a little. Okay, so this, oh, it's got to be 5 1/4. So 3 by 5 1/4, consulting the list. That's the first piece, and a 2.5 by 2. 2.5 by 2. I love this pattern with all of the little ornaments on it. I used a lot of those because I cut a lot of those out. I don't know if I have a 2.5 by 2 of that left. Oh, maybe. Let's see, how big is this? 2 by 2.5. Yeah, we can make that work. It's just a little bit longer. So 2 by 2.5 wide. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to layer that with, this is a busy pattern, with some, well, I have a scrap piece left over here. So 2.5, so 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. This is very different to do all the pieces live. Woohoo! Go me. There we go. That breaks it up a little bit. Having that one piece layered, it kind of breaks up the look of it a little bit. And then, let's see, what shall we put across there? This is nice, 1 1/4 by 4. So this one's just 1 inch wide. That's okay. We can take a little creative license with the pattern for sure. And tuck those pieces aside. And so one of these patterns has all kinds of ornaments, like 4 ornaments and 4 stars. And so what I've been doing is hand cutting. I don't have the dies for this yet. They're coming in one of my next orders. And an order I'm getting in November, I should say. So for now, I can hand cut around it because it's really quite easy to do that. And talk at the same time. Multi-talented, right? There we go, almost done. Those stars would be a little more difficult to, more angles to cut, but the circle is easy. And one of my tricks for cutting is to leave a little bit of the white space behind, or whatever the pattern paper color is behind, so that you don't try to cut too close to, say, a dark line, because it's really hard to get perfectly all the way around. But if you leave the little background piece, it kind of fades into the back. I find that works better for me. Trying to get it cut out. And I just need a little greeting, which I will find in here for after. Okay, card base done, check. Let's get this 3 by 5 1/4 piece down. What gorgeous weather we had this Sunday for getting stuff done. It was great for working outside. I got my barbecue cleaned and everything freshened up in the shed, so that swept out and ready to put things away for winter. I think the last run with the lawnmower, my son cuts the lawn. It's awesome. And that's done, and it won't be long. We'll be using the rakes and getting everything raked down to the street for city pickup. Straight. Yep, looks pretty straight. And then so here's what I got so far. I got the card base and my 3 by 5 1/4, and then my layered 2 by 2 1/2, and then now I'm cheating a little. This is 1 by 4, just because it's cute and I have a piece left. Cute pattern. Okay, and then I've got my circle to go down there. You could pop it up. I'm just leaving the popping up for my focal points. So instead of die cutting something, I've just cut one out here instead. Here's the dimensionals. I love when the paper has matching dies, and you can cut them, either stamp them and cut them out, or you can cut out the paper right from the dies. And it makes them much more versatile. And then all I need on here is obviously a holiday type greeting, which I don't really have anything right here, do I? What have I got? Can we put "for you" on there? You know what, we'll leave it blank, and then I will be able to go back and add a small holiday greeting when I'm ready. Or I could do, let's see, one of these ones. Yeah, I'll go back afterwards and add a holiday greeting to that. There we go. I'm expecting the bundle to come, so I'll have the stamp set that goes with this. That'll be a little more appropriate. But this thing needs some bling, so what shall we go with? Let's see. Not stars, but something gold or silver. The holiday rhinestones. They might No, they're not quite green, but there are some sort of iridescent ones. Let's see. There's some gold ones in these holiday rhinestones. I'm trying to think, do I need to keep? Yep, I need to keep a couple for a class I'm doing, but I can snitch a few out of here, and I think the gold ones will add a nice little touch. There we go. The big ones. Let's see. There's one there. One there, one there. Here we go. We'll do 3 on the ornament to make it sparkle a little bit. There. And then just a little happy holidays, season's greetings, something like that on there. All right, that's number 2 done. I have ribbon, but I took some ribbon out, so if you haven't seen these, these are the holiday rhinestones. I think they're $8.25, and you get 145 different colors. The colors are a blue, sort of an iridescent, garden green, cherry cobbler, and crushed curry. So those really traditional Christmas light colors. I remember as a kid, the string of lights would have like the gold, the red, the green, and the blue, right? Whereas now everything is home coordinated or coordinated to your decor. Not when I was growing up. When I was growing up, we had this and that. I really liked those colors myself. All right, and now I'm going to use another card, a different pattern. Now I chose a more like a black and white. Whoopsie. This is the Peaceful. No, I'm going to get it wrong. Hold on. We'll get the right name out here. This is the Designer Series paper called Peaceful Place. It's grays and almost like the basic gray and black and white, which is kind of, you know, what happens in our peaceful world out there in the wintertime. It has this cool paper that is sort of quarters, so you get a scene in each of the quarters. So I kind of thought that might work well for the 3 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut it this way. I think maybe I'm going to cut it in half first, so that I don't, so that I still have a piece left. Okay, we'll tuck that piece aside, and we'll cut this at 3. That's going to be hidden anyway, isn't it? So you'll get the nice long tree by 5 1/4. Cut a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom. There we go. And I think those little trees in the middle are going to get kind of missed because of the pieces that go on top. And let's see. I want to pick a couple of other patterns from here. There is some rows of trees. There's this silvery bark looking piece. I kind of like that. I'm leaving all my stars for something else, so I don't want to use those up, because that's for another project. And then some other trees. So I need a strip. So this would be perfect to have that strip of trees, wouldn't it? 1 1/4 inch. I found them to be well, I want to use that too. Oh, so many papers, so many choices. What's on the back of this one? This one's pretty. Oh, okay. So if this is 2 inches, this was a cast off piece that I'm not going to need. So this will be nice. Wait till you see this. This will be good. 2 by 2.5. Make that 2.5 tall. Do 2.5 from the bottom. Yeah, that's good. Okay. 2.5 by 2. And then this strip can go here at 4 by 1 1/4. So used to saying 4 by 5 1/4. 4 by 1 1/4. Okay. I got my 3 pieces cut, and then I need something to layer that on the back of. So I think I'm going to go with black, although did I pick a black circle out? How about, I punched a couple of circles, or I die cut a couple of circles, because I wasn't quite sure which one I liked best. So maybe I'll go with basic gray to layer this one on. So this needs to be 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. There we go. Hi Sheila, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening while you're making supper. Right, trying to get everything done, right? Busy life for sure. So I'm on my 3rd card for tonight, using this different layout. Come on, there we go. I hope you'll watch the replay just to get a couple of ideas for your cards. Okay. Now I did choose the white as a card base. Now I wonder if that's really what I wanted. I feel like it needs a little bit more, because this paper in the peaceful place, it's not white, right? If you've ever gone to buy paint, you know what I'm talking about. You try to match a white, and there's like hundreds of different versions of white. So our basic white cardstock and the white on this paper, not a perfect match. So I will cut a layer to stick behind here in gray. And that wasn't in the instructions, but I just think in this case it will add something to the card. And it's okay that my piece here is the same length. That's fine. That's fine. It just takes a little bit of the edge off the coloring. There we go. I'll add that to the card base. There we go. It's a very subtle difference, but I think a necessary one. Go. 4 by 5 1/4, perfect. Okay, and then my piece that was 2.5 by 2, I'm layering it onto some gray. That looks good. Basic gray. My paper trimmer needs new blades because I was trimming this piece, and when you start to get a little bit of frayed ends, that's a sign that your blades are starting to go. Time to replace them. Yep, as I thought, that's going to cover up those little trees entirely. That's okay, because it's going to be worth it with what I'm putting down here. Okay, and then this piece here, I think this is my favorite so far. Okay, and then I did a black circle on this one. Might be a bit stark. We'll see. Okay, where's that stamp set? There it is. Grab the Small polar bear. I know, when you see this, it's very Arctic looking. I like it though. So another stamp that has not been mounted yet. And if you've never done this before, which I never thought people might never have done this before, with red rubber stamps. So you get the red rubber stamps on a sheet like this, and you just pop them out, and then you peel the backing off so that you're left with a piece like this. And then there's a sticker sheet, and on the sticker sheet you peel the backings off there, and then you just lay this right on top. There's instructions that comes with it. And then what that does is it gives you one with a sticky side that goes on your reusable block very easily. One thing you'll find over time when you use the stamps over and over and over again is they lose a bit of their stickiness. Just take a bit of alcohol or something, alcohol, hand sanitizer, and just rub that on there, and that will sticky it up again. Very technical term. Okay, so let's get this guy stamped out in black. No coloring in because he is a polar bear and needs nothing more. He's so cute. I love this stamp set. I mean, I can't imagine I have lots of use for Arctic polar bears, but I do love having animal stamps in my stash. They always come in handy with something that I'm doing, with some group. And the bears are just really very distinctive. You can like see their fur so well on this. So I don't have the dies yet. I didn't buy this one as a bundle. I may yet get the dies. So I'm just going to hand cut them out. That's totally fine. Because it's pretty easy to hand cut these guys out. Again, I'm leaving a little bit of a white border around it, trying not to perfectly get to the black edging of the body of the bear, because I won't be able to do that perfectly. So it's better to just leave a little border that can blend in with the card base. And it gives you a little wiggle room on not being perfect. And the best thing to do when you're hand cutting them out is to move the paper, not the scissors. I don't know if you can see that as I'm going. I don't want to look up into the camera because I know that what will happen is I will snip something off. So if you move the scissors and not the, I'm sorry, if you move the paper and not the scissors, then that will help you have a little more control and less jagged edges showing up. Okay. Circle's kind of big. You take some creative license and make it an oval. I might just omit the circle this time round, and I'll just actually, in this case, I think I'll actually do two of the bears. I love when I can just make it different, change it up, right? So that only takes a minute or two more to hand cut a second one out. There we go. Clean that up. I clean my stamps as I go rather than leaving a pile of them on my table. Knowing me, I'm going to end up with it everywhere and get ink all over the place. So that should be dry on my basic white now. And back to just hand cutting this guy out. So I think rather than the circle on this one, I'm going to have my two bears like they're walking. There's a large one and a small one in this stamp set, but I'm going to use two of the smaller ones just because the big one is quite big. And easier to work with a smaller piece of paper. And so I'll just put the two of them on there instead of the black circle or instead of a circle. I love cutting out by hand. It's relaxing. Not if you have to do 50, I will admit. Okay, there he is. And these guys should be popped up for sure, right? Let's get a couple of dimensionals out here. I hope to never see a polar bear in the wild. Not that I don't like the idea of going to the Arctic, but I don't like the idea of becoming a lunch. And I don't imagine with global warming you have to go too far north to actually see them. This has turned out really cute. Really cute. All right, so what are the greetings in this stamp set? There's the thank you, which I used on one of the other cards. You and me, which is cute. My heart is with you every step of the way. 2 simple words filled with warmth and gratitude, and thinking of you. Well, I think like thinking of you is probably the kind of card I need the most. So let me find that greeting. Here, thinking of you. And instead of punching it out, when you have a greeting like this, you can easily, instead of punching it, you can just hand cut it out too. If you don't have a die or a punch that's perfectly placed. And I can show you all kinds of videos that I've done on how to take a longer rectangular die and cut it to fit better for a smaller greeting. That's doable. But I'm going to cut this one by hand, I think. So it's mostly, this greeting is mostly rectangular, if you will. So there isn't a lot of, I'll show it to you. See up here, thinking of you? It's straight on a line. So I'm going to be able to, I think, stamp it into the corner of the cardstock, and then cutting it out is pretty easy, even without a paper trimmer. So try that. There we go. And then I only have to cut a couple of edges. There we go. Thinking of you. Add some dimensionals to that too. Yep, no problemo. There we go. So on this, I'm going to add some regular rhinestones, and they'll just add a little sparkle, kind of dress this one up a little bit. Okay, so I've used 3 stamps from the Arctic Bears. All right. Oh, I have these ones called Silver and Clear Epoxy Essentials. These are like teardrops or raindrops, but they have just some circles in them, and some of them look like teardrop shape. These are kind of nice. I haven't used these much, so let's try a couple of these on here. They're a bit bigger, but different shape from the regular rhinestones. Just trying to figure out where I want to put them. You know what? I think I like the diamond-shaped ones. Oh, teardrops, diamonds, and circles. Pardon me. That's cool. Let's do the diamond shape on this. These are the ones I've used before. The diamond shape. That's quite nice. And I'm putting those on the tree just to add some more sparkle to this beautiful tree. Okay, there we go. Oh, I like this one. It turned out really well. I'm really, really pleased with that one. All right, I've got one more to do. Probably one of my last Halloween cards for this year. And I'm excited because today my long-awaited black glitter paper arrived just in time. I didn't order it at the beginning, so I missed out in being able to use it. But look at the sparkle on that. So this has been out of stock, but it's going to be perfect for this card here. So I'll get started. Got my card base in Flirty Flamingo. Just checking my time, 10 to 7. I need to motor on this one because the bridge ladies will be waiting for me to start our bridge night, which is tonight from 7 till about, what, 9:30? All right, so back to 3 by 5 1/4. And this cute Halloween, like, it's probably the Halloween paper I've used the most ever. It's just adorable. So I got a little bit of that and a little bit of purple, and then let's see. Just do that piece and then a strip. Oh no, the strip would be nice in the little dots, right? So that's the candy one. Got lots of bits and pieces of this too, but I need it to be, I need a longer piece. Oh, I got a whole bunch of pieces that I cut at 2-inch lengths. So I should be able to find something in here that will work. Here we go. Perfect. So that's going to go like that, and then I've got to use this guy because he's so cute. All right, let's get rid of these pieces over here for right now. And we got to cut this to 2 1/4 by 2, so 2 inches wide by 2.5 long. 2 inches wide by 2.5 long. And then I'm using a die from Frightful Tags, which I got I didn't get the stamp set. I don't know what I was thinking. But I got just the dies because I knew I could use this for one of my classes that I do with a group in Elmira, close to me, and it's a group of folks who do day program, and these dies will come in very handy. So back in with the embossing, Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And this has a spider web, which I wanted to do in the glitter paper. And I can just do a green of some kind. Okay, so I'm going to put the spider web on this instead of the circle. Where's the plate? There we go. So what I did, because I didn't have this glitter paper, was I took black paper, and instead I used clear embossing powder on it after I die cut it out. And it looked glossy and shiny, not as sparkly as it could have been. I could have also taken maybe Wink of Stella and maybe used that to add some shimmer to it. But this is so nice to have this here. I'm going to find another use for this glitter paper. We get this glitter paper now and again, and it should be a staple, if you ask me. It should be a staple in our line. Okay. All right, we get the little bits and pieces out of there. There's a couple more that need to come out. It's like crocheting through. There we go. Shouldn't get more sparkle on the floor for my son to clean up when he does the vacuuming. Alrighty. our 3 by 5 1/4. Never used so much Flirty Flamingo as with this paper, but this cute Halloween paper is like really, really, really cute. And you can use this over again. This is not Scream Halloween. This is doable as something else. Get a quick rectangle of Highland Heather for that piece. So that's got to be 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. This should work. It's amazing how you get used to looking at something going, yeah, that's 2 inches or that's 2 1/4. I can see that a mile away. Go. Oh, and now we're at adhesive. Grab our liquid glue. Pop that down. Always look at these bats. Like this one has the bats all upside down. Flip it over, get it going the right direction. Okay. And we'll glue this down. So my post this week will give you all kinds of Halloween ideas if you're still wanting some Halloween ideas. Or you can just use those layouts for something else, like use them with your stash and make Christmas cards with them. Totally optional. Okay, so then I said instead of, I would use this, so I need a little itty bitty mini dimensional to put there. And as I've done with a couple of my cards this year, I'm going to take the little spider and, like, rather than cut him out because he is pretty tiny, I'm going to kind of put him on the edge of the paper and have the greeting come along. So treat yourself. Is there a treat yourself in here? I think there is. Yes. Oh, close unused applications. I don't think I have any unused applications. Oh, Windows Media Player is maybe trying to play. Well, it shouldn't. Okay. All right, get the black in here. And pop that down. Oops, make a little more ink, girl. And my little spider. We'll wrap this up for tonight. Let's do a little hand cutting out with a little wavy line. A lot of good intentions of using my punches. That didn't work out. There we go. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I do like that. That turned out great. Okay, so put that out of the way. Add a few little dimensionals, and we will say we are done with 4 quick cards. I'm going to show them to you, and I thank you for your patience. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the cards. If they give you some inspiration and you want to share your cards with us, that would be awesome. Oops, there we go. Okay, here we go. This is my original card. This is the one I'm doing for my team meeting this next week. Okay, that's velvet paper, folks. It is beautiful. And then, so tonight I did this thank you with the pumpkin with Blackberry Beauty paper. And then this one that needs a little bit of a Christmas greeting on it. I'm waiting for that stamp set to come in and I'll add a Christmas greeting. This is my favorite. I think it turned out wonderfully with polar bears thinking of you. And my last Halloween card of the year that I'm making, I think that's safe to say. And a treat yourself. like that greeting, treat yourself, for lots of other things, for putting treats in a container in a little container for somebody. So thanks for watching. I'm back tomorrow night at 6 for my Technique Tuesday, and I'll see you then. Have a great night. Bye for now.